Hey there, welcome back to the channel and another episode of the After Party. And we are talking all things Mandalorian. We're talking about season 3, episode 2, which is chapter 18, The Minds of Mandalore. A lot of labels to be attached to the episode, but all in all, we are talking the latest episode of The Mandalorian over on Disney Plus. So if you haven't seen it yet, we are going to be talking about the episode as if you've seen it. So if you haven't seen it, watch it, come back later. Alright, let's get right into it. So, chapter 18 is titled The Minds of Mandalore. So, obviously, we are going to be going back to Mandalore. Well, not back to Mandalore, but we're going to go and see more of Mandalore. We get the impression that this season is building towards the Mandalorians all going and trying to take back their world, claim back Mandalore itself. So, we get our glimpse of Mandalore in this one, and I thought it was a good episode. All in all, I thought it was a good episode. Look, that's the thing. I spoke about it on the last Mandalorian after party, but short episodes are really, 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 really annoying and frustrating. Given we've been used to watching hour-long episodes of The Last of Us, and then jumping over to Disney Plus and getting half an hour of Mandalorian is really frustrating. But for what it was worth, I thought it was a solid episode in itself. I did think at the start we go back to Tatooine. We spend a lot of time on Tatooine in Star Wars universe, don't we? And I don't, yeah. Look, honestly, do you guys really see Din as the email type of guy? Is he gonna send a message over to Tatooine to ask about a droid pod? No, he's just gonna jump in his spaceship and fly straight there and ask the question himself. So we get Palimoto returning as her appearance. So Din is after this memory core that he wants to use to revive IG-11. She doesn't have it, but offers him R5D4 instead, which Mando, reluctantly as he does, agrees with. Remember, Mando's not a fan of droids. He absolutely hates droids. So, yeah, he was reluctant, to say the least. And we get, our reunited with R5D4. Small world? Sure. Fans of Star Wars will know who R5 is. He's the droid that Luke first attempts to buy from the Jawas in episode 4, which then blows up halfway through. Then he gets R2D2 instead. So R5 is sort of portrayed as the sort of cowardly droid, sort of complete opposite, really, of R2D2, who's this brave little astromech, but R5 is a little coward, which I thought was funny, refreshing. The interactions between R5 and Din really, Din hates droids. He doesn't like droids. Want anything to do with droids. So he needs R5 to come with him to Mandalore to scan to see the breathability or whatever, scan the levels of the atmosphere. So he needs R5. He doesn't want. If he could do it himself without R5, he would do it. But yeah, the interactions between Din and R5 I thought they were pretty funny. So yeah, we get to Mandalore, and it's a really cool looking planet. So we can see at the bottom of the screen here, I've got that artwork. It's got that greenish hue on it. So you can tell that's what the Mandalore atmosphere is like. The look of Mandalore itself is that greenish hueish sort of aesthetic to it, and that's what they've used for the promotion of the Mandalorian so far. So that sort of cements our theories that season 3 is going to be about Mandalore and taking Mandalore back. So Mandalore gets there, but however, when he gets there, he's attacked. He is attacked by some local living creatures, some local creatures there, when he falls down into some of the mines or some of the mine shafts where they land here. So yeah, he falls down there. He comes across this I don't know what it's called, but it's this cyborg type alien creature that's sort of this scavenger thing. It's something we haven't seen really, that type of creature in Star Wars before, which I thought was pretty cool. It reminds me a lot. So when the actual creature stands up, it reminds me a lot of General Grievous, the other most, well, probably the most famous cyborg creature in Star Wars, is General Grievous. So this is what this alien sort of reminded me about. So yeah, we get all that, but before that, we get Din, who defends himself. He pulls out the dark saber, which we haven't seen in the new season yet. So we get a bit of cool action sequences of Din with the dark saber. Look, my only criticism is that Mando, I don't know what he's sipping. He's been sitting back a lot in between seasons or something, but because, in my opinion, the Mando that we know would absolutely tear these guys to shreds. Like, Din got hit pretty hard and he was down for most of the fight, and he just managed to just scrape through with the dark saber, and even then he was blindsided in the ambush. So that to me was a little bit I was like, it's given, and also given the dark saber is a lightsaber essentially, it really didn't get used like a lightsaber. And you could say, Din is not a sword fighter; he's a gunner, but still, like, swinging that thing at these creatures, it was like he was hitting solid objects with a stick. I mean, this dark saber should just slice right through him, but didn't really do that, which is a little bit. And that's the one thing I notice in general for Star Wars Disney, is that the lightsabers, I wouldn't say they've been nerfed, but the way they interact with other objects have definitely been changed. So that's just, to me, was a little bit annoying for me, seeing Din down and out, so to speak, and then so easily, and not using the dark saber to its full potential. So that was a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Now the mines is it. Let's get to some criticism that I've noticed online. There's a site that reviewed this episode at a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10. And I'm not going to say the site's name, but I am going to... There we go. Okay. Well, there's a site out there that originally gave this episode a 4 out of 10 because... Why? Because it was too dark. It was too dark, I couldn't see. 4 out of 10. It fell into the same tropes as Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, that is too dark, can't see. 4 out of 10. Okay. To me, that says, that's the lighting is too dark, can't see anything. That, I had absolutely no issue watching this. Look, the guy probably watched it on I don't know what he watched it on. I'm not gonna bash on the guy that reviewed it, or the guy or girl that reviewed it. But the episode itself, I didn't have an issue watching it. I watched it quite funnily. I could see things that are playing out. May just be because of my TV that I watched it, or the TV this guy's person has watched it. But I didn't see any issues at all watching the episode. I didn't think it was too dark. I could clearly see what was happening. So that for me was a non-factor. Like, the lighting in that was not an issue. Like, I could make out what was happening and all that sort of stuff. So I didn't have an issue with that, so to speak. But yeah, the issue that I had with it was that Din was he was a bit of a jobber. So if I can use a wrestling term, he's a bit of a jobber. Though the flip side to that is that we got Grogu, and I'm going to call him Grogu or Baby Yoda, but Grogu was able to stand on his own and get a bit of a moment for him to save Din as well. And that's the flip side to that, which I thought was really, really cool. So the scenes when Grogu, is running from that scavenger alien creature, and he's getting out of there, and he's going to back to Bo-Katan. He's got the little pod, and he's cruising through the mines. That was so good, so well done. And then he goes to Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan then comes and saves Din. Look, to me, I don't know. Is it the timing? I don't know how long it takes for Bo-Katan to get from where she is over to Mandalore, but to me, I don't know. I feel that maybe a little bit more time, a bit too much time would have passed, but whatever, I guess. The Bo-Katan comes, and then she's the badass Mandalorian that we thought Din should be. Anyways, she comes, saves Din, and brings to the surface. And then she sees... Well, they don't see. They get to the waters that Mando... Look, the whole reason that Mando's going to Mandalore is because he needs to go back to the waters, recite the Kree, and redeem himself, because to him, he sees himself as not a Mandalorian anymore. He's been outcast by the Kree. He's going back to these waters, which has some sort of spiritual meaning to the Mandalorians. And if he is going to bathe in the waters and recite the oath again, that will restore his prestige within the clan. That's the whole purpose of going back to Mandalore. To which Bo-Katan is like, what are you doing? You don't do that. The Kree's silly, blah, blah, blah. You're still living by the Kree. You're still a Mandalorian. She's trying to convince him, but Din, who is so within his belief system that, like, no, I'm going to do this. So that's why he's going back to Mandalore. He gets into the waters, he's reciting the oath, and then he goes down, which is another, I wouldn't say issue, but I had to really suspend my belief a bit, because he's walking down, then he just falls, and then when Bo-Katan jumps in, it's this great, big, deep ocean. It's this great, big body of water. And then she had to go quite a distance to get to the bottom to get to Din. And she jumped in the water just like instantly. She jumped there straight away. So the timing as well, like Din just, like, we see what happened. Well, we don't see what happened, but we can assume that this big creature grabbed Din. But why did he grab Din and just put him to the floor? Like, as a creature, you'd think you'd grab somebody and eat him, but I don't know. He grabbed and put him on the floor for some reason. Bo-Katan had to jump in and swim all the way to the bottom and rescue him, go back up to the top, and that big creature, as she's coming back up, she sees the big creature and she realizes that all the stories that she's told, all the tales and all that, they're all true. So you've got the mythical creature here on Mandalore, and she's seeing this right there, and she's like, this, everything that she's been told is true. So good little moment there. But yeah, to me, the episode was a good episode. There's just a few things about time frames that were an issue for me. The lighting in itself and all that were a non-factor at all. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid episode. Bo-Katan's quickly becoming one of my favorite Star Wars characters. And that little sequence of events where they gave Grogu a chance for him to stand up and for him to shine, I thought were really, really cool. And he gave the big force push to that big monster at the end, which was like, whoa, get out of his way. So I thought, yeah, the episode was good. I really enjoyed the dynamics between Bo-Katan and Grogu, and that sort of interaction. But then the interactions between Bo-Katan and Mando. And it's definitely setting up with what's to come. So, where to from here? Well, Mando, does he now see that he's been redeemed? Like, he's done the creed, he's done the oath, sorry. He didn't quite do it all, but does he see himself now as he's restored back into the creed? He's restored his honor within the Mandalorian, within his clan? I feel that at the start of the next episode, he's going to do it again. Like, they're either look. There's two ways for the start of the next episode. They're either going to go and try and kill that big monster, and then Din's going to finish off his oath, or he's going to do it again at the start of the episode and move on from that. And we'll probably see the monster at another episode down the track once they come back to Mandalore and retake it. I don't know where we're going to from here. Like, this was about Din coming back and wanting to restore his glory within the clan. So whether he's done that or not, we'll have to see how that plays out at the start of the next episode. But the season itself, like they're now on the planet. They can see that what the planet is like. They're obviously building towards some sort of event where the Mandalorians come and try and take back Mandalore. So they're planting those seeds there. We'll probably I reckon we'll spend a few more episodes, maybe even spend the whole season on Mandalore from here on in. Though maybe we'll get some back and forth between episodes or whatever. So not too sure where they go with that. I do like the look of Mandalore itself. I think it's a really interesting planet to look at. It's got some interesting wildlife, some interesting creatures on there. So I can't wait to see more of these mythic beasts that Bo-Katan were told. If there are other mythic beasts out there, maybe it's a thing where that is, maybe that's what they. I don't know if it is or not. Like, I can't remember who are they taking Mandalore back from? Are they the wildlife that's grown and are living on there now, or is it? I don't know. So maybe we'll get. As part of the season, it's their task to eliminate all these creatures and to take Mandalore back for themselves from these great big beasts. Maybe that's what we'll see in the episodes moving forward. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of The Mandalorian Afterparty. Short an episode, but these are short episodes, so there's really, really not much you can talk about apart from the half an hour, 25 to half an hour minute episodes that we get. So fix your episode run sheets up. Disney, fix it fast. That's the episode. Thanks for watching. What are some of your highlights from The Mandalorian episode 2 of season 3? Whatever you think about the episode, jump in the comment section below. Let's get a discussion going around Mandalorian. Alright, back for another episode of the After Party when we reconvene here for episode 3 of chapter 3, which will be chapter 19. We'll see you back then when it happens. Thanks for watching. See you next time.